The movie opens with a red van navigating traffic in a tunnel as the day darkens. Maria exits the van with her son Max, who mentions needing the bathroom. She enters an elevator with a Japanese man and wishes him a Merry Christmas, only for a poorly translated conversation to leave them both uneasy. Meanwhile, Christoph is seen arguing with his grandfather about a promised ring when someone interrupts to tell him the investors are nearby. Max discovers locked stalls in the restroom. Christoph spots him and lifts him to use a high urinal. After delivering a package, Maria searches for Max but encounters another man. When Maria finds Christoph's office, Max reveals Christoph cursed, prompting her to warn her son from repeating the word. Just as they are about to leave, Christoph realizes Max has shredded a crucial contract, leading him to ask if Maria can pick up things professionally. After arriving at a house in her van, Maria and Max meet his stubborn grandfather, who eventually allows them inside. Max is thrilled to spot a model frigate ship. While Maria assists the grandfather with packing a present, Max secretly pockets a frigate. Back at the postal office, Maria wraps Christoph's package, but the nervous director struggles to announce something and retreats to his office to watch a motivational show. When Maria visits to comfort him, he tries to kiss her, causing her to leave. The director returns to watch the show on his laptop. Later, he sabotages her deliveries out of spite. The next morning, Maria wakes up and prepares to deliver packages, dropping Max off with a neighbor first. Christoph tries to pay for the delivery, but Maria declines. Upon checking his package, he discovers it's the wrong one. Later, Christoph visits Maria's home to return the package, slipping that Max helped him locate where they live. He leaves after she informs him it's Christmas Eve and her day off. Maria receives a call from Kama informing her that her packages, including one for Max, have been mixed up. She confirms this when she opens Max's package and decides to leave him with her neighbors. She then sets off in her van to retrieve the correct packages. Christoph enters the van, insisting on following her to claim his package, despite Maria's objections. They bicker about the van's diesel possibly running out, and Maria asserts that her intuition is reliable. Christoph reveals he's also afraid of dogs and complains about the mess in the van. Meanwhile, a woman at home sharpens a knife and prepares food when she notices a van outside. It's Maria delivering a package, which surprises her husband. Later, at a gas station, Christoph struggles to fill the van's tank, leading to an argument with the attendant. At a toy store, a woman gives a toy back to the sales attendant, Marek. She says it repeats a vulgar message her uncle recorded and isn't right for her 4-year-old nephew Jazz. She asks Marek to remove the sound, but he replaces the toy with a new one instead. Marek bumps into his father, who asks who Miliana is. Marek answers that she's someone from work. Marek's father gives him a package from Miliana containing a pregnancy scan in a heart-shaped case. Marek goes to find Miliana smoking, and he invites her to his place to talk. Meanwhile, Christoph mistakenly fills the van's tank with fuel instead of diesel, and they spend hours transferring it into cans. The fuel worker leaves on his bike after wishing Maria a Merry Christmas. Mirek is ironing his clothes when his mother comes in to help him. His father comes to tell him that his grandparents are waiting. At the dinner table, Mirek is nervous and tells his grandparents that he doesn't know his baby's mother well. They ask how he met her. His grandparents are happy about the pregnancy news, but Mirek wants no part of it. The doorbell rings and Mirek runs to his room. His parents are confused about what to do. Mirek eventually answers the door, and Maria explains that his package got switched. She requests for the old package, and Mirek retrieves the old package to return to Maria, taking the new one. He is happy and hugs his parents at the table, revealing there is no baby. The next scene shifts to a few hours earlier when Maria gives Christoph's package to a tailor, who is surprised to receive a gift from Estera. Estera, a middle-aged woman, undresses in her room, leaving her lingerie behind. She walks into the living room where her husband is watching a wildlife show. She strips in front of him, and he responds by covering her with a blanket to keep her warm. Disappointed, Estera quietly walks away. The tailor opens his package, utterly confused. Christoph and Maria are driving and discussing their missing package. Christoph upsets Maria with his judgment. She then makes him check her pipe tail before driving off in tears, calling him an asshole. Estera's husband meets her in the room and compliments her dress. He offers to help her put on her necklace, but gets it wrong and leaves the room, dropping his cufflinks. Estera picks them up, and her seam rips in the process. She then rushes out wearing a red coat to go to the tailor. Maria cries in her van while Christoph walks. She drives back to pick him up and hands him his phone, telling him not to get her upholstery dirty. Christoph tries to apologize to Maria, but she interrupts, saying she has to pick up Max from her neighbors who are going out. Estera arrives at the tailor's shop, where he reveals he was surprised when he received her gift. Estera replies that she wants to drop the formalities since they've known each other for years. She tells him her seam gave out, and the tailor goes to get his tools. When he sees Estera undressing, he goes back in and returns, surprising Estera, who tells him she only wanted to fix her seam. The tailor takes her dress back and repairs the seam. He puts it on her while he's unclad. Next thing, Estera and the tailor are making out fiercely. Christoph calls his girlfriend Zuzia, and she wants to know why he isn't home. She let him know her mother and grandma are waiting, and it is important to her. Maria picks up Max from her neighbors and is about to lock the door when Max says he wants to poop. Christoph gets impatient and drives off in the van, getting in trouble with patrol officers. When Christoph tries to pay for the ticket, he's informed by the officers that his van is overdue for a vehicle inspection. Christoph confesses it's not his van but a friend's, and the officer tells him that the vehicle is getting impounded. The officers return to their car to contact the headquarters, but the radio seems broken. Christoph drives off and the officers tail him, taking a wrong turn that causes him to lose the trail. Maria comes out with Max and sees Christoph driving toward them. She puts Max into the van to get warm, then she yells at Christoph for wrecking her van. Christoph explains he takes the subway to work and doesn't know how to park a bike, apologizing while sitting on the floor. Max asks if Christoph is coming with them, but Maria isn't sure. Christoph confesses he was planning to propose to his girlfriend with his grandma's ring for luck. Maria lets Christoph in after he taps on her car repeatedly and warns him not to make her regret it. Christoph shares candy with Max. He stops Maria from meeting the police, and they continue when the police car drives away. Another scene shows Mirek's parents discussing their life with Mirek taking notes. That night, they send Mirek out with his bags, telling Mirek it is for his good. Maria and Christoph arrive at the tailor's, and when no one opens up, Christoph gives Maria a boost, tickling her in the process. The tailor opens the door and lets them in. He appreciates the wrong gift that brought Estera to him, and when he asks if Maria and Christoph have known each other for long, they deny it, calling their encounter a misunderstanding. The tailor tells them a misunderstanding can sometimes lead to the start of wonderful things. Maria and Christoph leave after taking the wrong package, replacing it with the tailor's rightful new slippers that he loves. Once Maria and Christoph are in the van, Christoph opens his package, revealing a statue of a penis. It leaves Christoph puzzled and Maria laughing. She confirms it's his because she helped his grandfather pack it. They end up in a fit of laughter. They arrive at the last house, meeting 3 kids at home with the eldest letting them in. Maria learns they have opened and ruined Max's present. She returns theirs but doesn't retrieve Max. They're on their way home when the van runs out of diesel, causing them to be stranded in the middle of the road. Christoph helps Maria carry Max home and tucks him in bed. Maria gives Christoph her ring to propose to Zuzia. Christoph is hesitant to accept it, but Maria convinces him to take it and sees him off. Christoph returns in the morning with a large ship parcel to Maria's apartment. He meets Max and a half-nude man with a hangover. A few hours earlier, Christoph leaves Maria's apartment, and her neighbors inquire who Christoph is. Maria lets them in to talk and drink. Kama arrives at Maria's with the diesel and joins them. Estera is idle at a party and her husband talks with his friends. She shocks her husband with her plans, and later at bedtime, she confesses that she slept with the tailor. Mirek's grandfather opens his present and sees a doll with a USB plug. Mirek is sitting at the bus station and Meliana joins him. She tells Mirek she fulfilled her dare, so he has to do what she says. The same night, Maria's drunk director is singing a Christmas song in the neighborhood. He tells Maria and Kama he is lonely and lives with his parents. They sit with him on the bench, and he confesses to switching the labels on Maria's packages and apologizes. Back in the present, Christoph gives Max the ship and goes to meet his grandfather with the sculpture. He tells his grandfather that he didn't propose to his girlfriend, and they broke up. They share jokes about Christoph's situation and have a heartfelt conversation. Later, Maria refuels her van and heads home, where she finds the director asleep and Max crying in the bathroom. He tells her about Christoph's gift and admits to stealing the ship from Christoph's grandfather. They return the ship to his grandfather, who surprisingly gifts it to Max and informs Maria that Christoph will be moving back in with him. Meanwhile, patrol officers having lunch notice Maria's van, prompting them to tail it. Christoph, on his way to his grandfather's, spots the officers and attempts to warn Maria. When his call fails, he decides to block the officer's path. Maria almost hits the Japanese man and gets arrested with Christoph. Max's fish is perishing and needs to be released into the river, so the officer handcuffs Maria and Christoph, watching them release the fish. When the fish won't swim away, Maria recites the Japanese man's wrong translation of the fish. Christoph returns her ring, but she throws it into the river, letting her emotional baggage go. Maria and Christoph leave the riverbank. The movie ends with the three kids and their father decorating for Christmas when the father's flight attendant wife calls. The man holds out a pregnancy scan in a heart-shaped case. Everyone is happy at Christmas.